So even with this little oil, we can still do pretty good. I do have to fix that oil pump, of course. We only run about a fourth or a fifth of the speed that we should do usually. But this is way better than doing it by hand, so I'm still really happy with the excavator today. It's just a shame it's that slow. But since we have a tree every meter, it doesn't make that much difference. But it definitely adds up to the time. But doing it with a shovel would take a lot more time. So we are moving the Doyenne Camise from this field because somewhere in the future this field will disappear and we do want to have one row of Doyenne Camise at home. So today we throw out exactly the amount of Doyenne Camise that we need at home with the excavator. So that's why I shake all the roots clean. That way we can lift these trees up by hand as they have to be lifted. That wanted to shovel them out, I said we're never gonna do that again, as we did that 15 years ago with all our conference peers. So every single conference pear tree that we have is moved from one field to another, so I know how heavy that one is. But this actually looks really nice. These trees are handleable, and we can also see they got really big roots, and that's an issue. And we actually need to root prune all these trees. The issue is we already did so on the side. So I went through with the tractor before we throw them out with the excavator, with the tractor with the root pruner to go as close to the roots as possible. But yet the sideway roots, they are so big, they just grow from one tree to another, and they even do that while they have a row spacing of 150 here. So every tree is producing more than 75 centimeters of roots. That's way too much, and that will also explain why these trees are producing that bad for all those years, as we do think the production of the Doyenne Camise is just bad and we really need to improve that. So we know that moving pear trees increases production by a lot, because the growth is regulated maximum if you move it, because it completely needs to restart growing. And after 2 years you get like a very good productive year. So that's like the ultimate root pruning. And that's also what happens to one row of these trees. The other trees get sold over eBay. So if you are interested in trees, you can contact us and you can come by on a Saturday to load them up. And if you want me to do them out with the excavator, then I need to then I need to get all the people who want trees on the same day, because I cannot drive into the field every day with the excavator to do some trees. I just need to do it one day. But I think it works really efficiently. Some trees do get a little bit damaged, but that isn't an issue as these trees are growing way too much anyway, and we're not damaging them all around, so it should be fine and they should be growing again once we plant them. I still got my excavator issue. That means it's really slow today, but at least it gets the job done, and that's a really important thing to me, because doing it by hand is just unthinkable at this moment for me. That excavator is still one of the most sensible buys that I made, in my opinion. So if I see how many hours we run with it, it's not a lot, but still, all the hours we do with this machine goes 10 times as much in hours if you do that work by hand. So that way it's really paying back for its job. If it makes 100 hours every year, it means 1,000 hours of hand labor less. And that's worth it. So these are the first trees that came out, and that already cleaned them up with the shovel a bit, but still these go way over 100 kilos, and I even got bigger ones at home. They go over 300 kilos each, as the 423 starts to lift up on the front if you have 3 trees standing on the transporting plate. And only 3 trees being that heavy tells you do not want to do that much with hand labor. So definitely the shaking is making a lot of sense. I know it's not the best thing to shake like that with an excavator, but that's the reason why I buy my own excavator. So I can mistreat it and I can fix it up and have it work the way that we need it to work. And the work it does like this is just tremendous to us. So we did prepare this outside row to be planted with pear trees. And I already knew when we were digging the holes with the drill that it would be probably not be big enough. So now we go in with the excavator and we take out a bucket on each hole. It's a double walk, but on the other side everything that the drill got out hits out, and with the bucket we can easily extract a little bit more, and still every tree goes on the correct space, so it doesn't matter that much, but it is double walk. And we also didn't expect that the roots of the Triandacamis were that big, but they are, so this is how we are gonna have to do it. These trees, they are heavy, so we need to be able to transport them. I got my mini excavator so I can dig them out easily, but to transport them we want to use the tractor with the forklift and this metal plate. We have done this trick in the past already once with our conference peers, which are standing right at home here. They actually come from another field 1 kilometer away, and also the other field of conference was also a replant, and they also moved from that field. So we are known with how to do this, and what we are gonna do now is make a frame onto this plate. That way we can put trees in there, lock a chain, drive onto our home field here and plant the trees here. So that way we should be able to plant them without too much backbreaking work. So let's figure out how we are gonna make a frame on here. I do have a lot of tubes now, so with these tubes we can easily make a frame. That's the whole reason that I got these tubes, just to be able to make a quick frame which we can detach after we are done again. So let's work on this. A magnetic drill is one of the important pieces of a good workshop. This one really helps me out with this kind of holes. It seems easy, but it's 10mm plate. You definitely want a mag drill for this. Even for 6mm holes, you want a mag drill for this because it makes it just way easier. This is what it looks like. So we got 4 pipes standing up. Now we need to make a frame around, so that way we got a box where we can put pear trees in. This should be absolutely perfect this way. So we now have a chain on the back, and we have a frame which is really high that will support the trees really well, because I know these trees are close to 4 meters high, and you need to support them well, otherwise they try to fall out on the road and all kind of stuff that we don't want. And we have a chain on the back so we can lose it, just loosening it and opening it up. It's not as fancy as a gate, but this will definitely get the job done. And since these trees are very awkward to handle, it's just way better to have a chain. Well, it's a slow going process with this little oil flow, but it does the job. I hope I can fix that issue, because this is a horrible way of walking, but we do get the work done. It's not super efficient, but it gets it done, and shoveling it goes slower than this. So it makes sense doing it this way. I just hope I can fix that issue, as I don't like how slow it is now. Well, Dad has put all the trees in place, so he wanted to move them, so he can move them. So he did. And as you can see, some trees have a little bit of damage from moving them, because we have to rip them out of the ground. But hopefully that's gonna heal well, and we have no issues at all. So it's looking really good so far. You can see there's only a little bit of sand at the row yet. We do have to shove that back, and we have to shove in from this side as well. But so far it's looking good. this home field like this will definitely be a nice addition. So we put up the sprinkler poles, took the sprinklers off, as we do need sector sprinklers here, because we don't want to hit the cherries during summer. If they are almost ripe, then they are very sensitive to water, so we should never hit them. But what we still need to do is put the main pipe in. So we need to put a pipe for the row, and you also need to put the main pipe on the front, as there's no main pipe here yet, because this field was never ours. This is the first time ever we have it, so there's no main line. So we're gonna have to make it right now, and to do so we're gonna dig it out with the excavator. That way we can put the main pipe in, and we should have water on all the rows. And then we need to do a second main pipe for the dripping line. So we also want to install dripping lines on this field, but that needs to go on a different line because it needs to run on a lower pressure.
Hierbij. Den väl, gissar den någon gång där. Het regent.
Well, this should definitely do it. So we can put pipe in here, and then we can get water in the rows. So that's something we're gonna do tomorrow. For today it's late enough and we have to go eat, and after it it's dark. So today put the water hose in the ground, so we're now gonna cover it up again. Fixed all the water leaks and I leveled out the headland, and now we got a perfect headland here. The ditch is closed, everything is compacted, so this should be a headland for the next 20 years. So we got this tool for hanging on the back of the tractor, and we got a lot of tools actually for this one, as this is the beam that carries the tools. And one of the tools is a plow, which we use to make ditches if we make new sprinklers somewhere. Unfortunately, that plow doesn't work at all because it can't dig a ditch. So that's really not useful. So we're gonna make a new plow that will actually make a useful ditch, so we can put the hose properly in the ground and put everything away properly as it is supposed to be. For that, we got this old plow here, which is a normal plow. I already took one blade off last year to pull old hoses out of the ground. Unfortunately, that setup is not made to make a ditch. It's just made to pull the hose up and throw everything back in. That way the hose stays up and the ground drops back in. Now we're gonna take this side off, and I took the other side off on purpose last year, so this is the correct side to make this kind of plow. So with this one we can actually plow open a ditch, we can get the hose in and we can close it again with a shove. We do have a shove for this tool, so that's good. You just need to make the plow now. So let's get started by seeing how we get this off the most efficient way, and then see how we are going to reuse it to get the proper angles. Well, we got it off properly, and it seemed way easier than I thought it would be. Thing is, I can use these two pieces here as well, because we are gonna use it like a real plow. That means these both have a function, and I think they will do fine if you just leave them on. So now we gotta make a construction from here to the plow, so the plow is mounted firmly. So let's see if we can manage to make something that works. So let's give it a go and see how this plow does. I want to make a ditch at one field as we have water issues there, and there is space to make a ditch. So we're gonna make the ditch now and see how the tractor handles the plow. If you need to modify or strengthen anything, or if it's just perfect this way. So let's go. So the ditches that the plow makes are just perfect for the hose. So it's deep enough and it makes a really nice ditch. So we put the hose in, we connect everything, and then we close it up again, and then the hose is under the ground. And the big advantage of that is that the sun doesn't heat it up, because if the sun heats that hose up, it becomes way longer in the summer. So we want to have that buried in the ground. That way it doesn't become that hot and it doesn't get that much longer. So it's just way better. And we also don't hit it with the mower. That's also a big advantage. So we are now completely finished with planting this field. So these trees can start growing and the grass can also start growing as we leveled out all the lanes. We have all the watering installed, all the sprinklers are connected. So we are completely ready for the season. These trees will not produce a lot this year, only a few apples, but still, only a few is still a few, which we can sell in our vending machines. And in the upcoming years, this field should really deliver a nice amount and different varieties which we require for our vending machine. These two rows here are both Delbar Sissy Red, so I hope they are gonna deliver really nice apples, and they should also have a really nice color. As the Delbar that we had previously, they just weren't nice. They were too green and not enough red, and that was an issue because people want nice colored Delbar. And if you don't color, then that's not gonna make it. But these are known for their nice color, so we hope these will color nicely and have a good taste, and that should give us a good start in the new season. We will find out in the upcoming years how this field will perform.